different camera angle. Yeah, that's it, probably. All right, let's see, guys. It's 6:30. I think we give it 1 or 2 more minutes if anyone else will jump in, right? And see, let me just do it like this. Boom, boom, there we go. All right, so I mean, I hope you're having a good week, Monday. Only a couple more days, then it's weekend. Yay, love my weekend. Let's see. Oh yeah, most people are almost here already. Brilliant. There we go. So I sent you back your reflection grade, your assessment grade. And I think overall for assessment grade, everyone did really, really well. I think in the class, it went from a B- up to an A-. So that's a really good spreadsheet. And I think majority of us did better than on assessment 1. So the results are going in the right direction. And it's like what I said already in week 1, right? Assessment 1, little bit difficult. Assessment 2, easier. And assessment 3, the easiest, basically. So as you noticed, your grade should fluctuate upwards, so to speak. Let me see. Oh, okay. More people joining. Good. This one. There we go. All right. Let's see. Do anyone have any plans for Easter? We have a long weekend, right? We have Friday's holiday, Monday's holiday, and Tuesday, right? We have 3 days holiday for Easter. I think that's pretty good. Any exciting plans, anyone? Waterfall picnic. Ah, that sounds good. Excellent. Sounds really, really relaxing, actually. Let's see. Good. Just answering someone in the chat. Let me see. Give me a second. I'm checking that. Sorry, that's it. All right, so guys, I think it's 6:33. I think many of us are perhaps a little bit hungry, a little bit tired. I think so. Any questions about your reflection grade? Any question about assessment 2? I sent back those who submitted an initial Word file to me last week. I sent you back with some comments in the margin explaining a little bit what I expect to see more of. Generally, I think the reflection was really good. I think at a certain time, I just expected a few more details to push the grade up a little bit higher. But generally, I think you should be really, really happy with your grades. I'm very happy with them. So you should be very, very happy with them also. And I think as you go forward, you will see that assessment 3 is the easiest one. So I feel like do not worry too much about that. Let me see. I think 3 students. Let me just double check. Checking the spreadsheet. 1, just have to download it. Give me a second to download the spreadsheet then. Sorry, trying to open a file on my laptop and it's. So the average grade for assessment 1 is a C+/B-. Assessment 2, let me open it. What's happening here? Still trying to open the files, just give me. Don't know why it's jumping. My Excel folder is jumping like this on the screen, up and down, up and down. After trying to open it, I don't know if it's had a drink or something, but it's not really opening. Come on, just open. There we go. Yes, so the average grade for assessment 2 is a B-B. So the average grade for assessment 2 is half a grade higher than assessment 1. And I think that's the usual case. So assessment 2 average grade is a B-B. So it's a half a grade higher than assessment 1. That's normally the case. And then assessment 3, I will assume the average grade will become even higher. I'm not a very tough marker. I'm quite easygoing with the marking, so I think you don't really have to worry. Just do what I ask you to do, and you will do really fine. So the average grade for the class is actually, to be honest, quite high, which is good. So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's open. There we go. No, so there's no curving at all. It's just based on your own grade. So you would take assessment 1 plus assessment 2 plus assessment 3, and it's worth like 30%, 30%, and 40%, and that is your grade. So yes, so all ELC2011 classes assessment are the same. There's no difference for the assessment. So everyone is taking the same assessments. Everyone took assessment 1, everyone doing the reflection, and everyone is doing the feature article. So yeah, no difference, Ethan. It's all the same. Is that all right? Any other questions about that? No? Go here. So assessment 3 is quite important, right? So assessment 3 is 40%. So it's kind of important that you don't give up. You've done really well on assessment 1 and 2. Now it's like the final push for the final feature article is worth 40%, right? And I show you lots of examples, and I put some examples on our Learn and PolyU Blackboard site. and you can actually look at examples there. And I think that's kind of helpful. So Rakshijan, do you remember how many people get an A for the course? Is that what you're asking? If you're asking that, to be honest, I really don't know. Normally I give a couple A's in each class, that's it. There's really no cap. We just, the grades are just awarded based on your score, and that's it. So no, there's no curve, there's no cap. We just take the 30 and we just add that together, and that's your final grade. That's it. There's no secrets to it, so to speak. So you don't have to worry about that. Just try your best, basically. And I will do my best to give you a very high grade, I think. That's it. Good questions, though. Very good. Any other questions? No? All right. I mean, if you have questions, you feel free to ask in the chat, or feel free to send me an email or anything you like, right? That's all right. So I have a couple of things planned for you today. Normally, this week, it's not a very long class. It's basically decide a little bit about what you will like input on for the feature article. So it can be a fairly easygoing class, so don't worry. Similar length to last week. Let me just share my screen. Something's happening. If I do like this. Oh yes, here we go. And where is my thing? There we go. So we have the Easter Bunny on the right side of the screen. We've got to say we love our Easter Bunny, right? So we have Easter Bunny, we have colorful Easter eggs that we all can paint if you want or not. So we're going to do a feature article, and you're really free, guys, to pick any topic you like. I just want you to be creative. I want you to have a little bit fun, and I don't want you to worry so much about this, because I think you're really busy in your other courses, lots of assignments, lots of deadline, lots of quizzes, right? So for this one, normally students enjoy it and they play around with the format, the language, being a bit creative, and usually students tend to finish it fairly early. Rarely is the last minute, right? So have a bit of fun with it. So a couple things for us to do today, and I will say like this. I'm going to just briefly reinforce the standard structure of the article I'm looking for. And then we're going to come up with some good examples of a title. And then look at how we can how we can write the lead-in, basically. And again, reinforce the nut graph. Because these are the things I'm looking for to give you a high grade. So that's why I want to make sure we are okay with it. But to do this, I'll give you a couple options. We can take it very slow, super slow, and go through Unit 2 in great details, or great detail. It shouldn't be a plural S. Sorry about that. Ignore that. Or option 2, like last time, we can take it fairly quick. We can cover the main points, and then you can use the remainder time of the lesson to work by yourself or prepare your draft or whatnot. I'll be available if you have questions, but basically you can go away and work on yourself. So we have two options. Do you want to take it fairly slow and go through things in great details? Or like last week, we take it pretty quick, option 2, cover the main points. And then I assume as you write your draft, you will contact me if you have any questions. So I'm easygoing both ways. I just want to make sure what you guys kind of feel like. If it's like cover the main points, it's enough for you to actually go away and do the writing. All right, we have 2 responses for that. That's fine. All right, so failed 2 towards 2. So let's maybe we aim for 2. But if you feel like, hey, this is too quick, hey, I need more help, let me know. All right, good guys. All right, let me just jump into it. So, feature articles. You decide the type. So remember, there's 8 types, and we covered them 2 weeks ago. You decide the type. If it's, you can write about sports, you can write about movies, you can write about how to build a computer, how to make a milkshake, how to boil a cup of noodles, or anything like that. So you really decide on the topic yourself. So just go to, I always say, just go to a bookstore, look at the magazines, and get some inspiration and see what they're doing, basically. That's it. But really, guys, any topic is okay. Nothing is on the forbidden list, whatever you feel comfortable with doing. And don't worry about a topic being simple. If a topic is being simple, you can equally well get a high grade. One of the articles I showed you before is also on Blackboard, is avocado, right? How to make an avocado sandwich or something. That one is very simple, but it was very well written, had all the details, you got a high grade. So don't worry about picking a difficult topic. A simple topic, it's good enough, trust me. Don't stress. Simple topic is good enough. So you can write about, if you like, an actor, actress. You can write about basketball player, football players. You can write about current affairs. You can write about history. Just keep an open mind and go with anything you like. I'm really cool with it. So what I'm looking for in your feature article, I want you to have a cool title. And the reason I'm mentioning the title is because the title, guys, can be part of your lead-in. So title lead-in is what we mean hook. You want to hook the reader, hook the title. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Yes, Ethan, that's true. The avocado one is well published. I don't know how they did it, but it doesn't mean you have to polish it like that. The content-wise is also very good. So even though we want it to look like a magazine article, there's no need to go overboard. Some of the articles I shared with you guys were very simple, right? 2 columns, picture, caption, or something like that. So Ethan, we don't have to make it super polished. Just make it sure it look kinda like a magazine article. And I think that's pretty cool. So don't worry about that. So title. Yes, have some fun. Maybe a title could be an allusion or alliteration, right? Maybe a title could be even, I don't know, rhetorical question. So have some fun with the title. It can be a hook to attract the audience. Then I want you also to think about the lead-in. That's the introduction. And remember, a lead-in introduction of a feature article can be 3 or 4 paragraphs. How do you remember how long can a paragraph be in a each article? Do you remember this? Any ideas? So yeah, difficult. So it actually, one paragraph technically in a feature article can be one sentence. Yes, Ethan, correct. So when I say the lead-in introduction should be 3 or 4 paragraphs, that just means normally a lead-in can be one paragraph, one single line, and it's just to attract the reader. So we don't always have to have long paragraphs. And sorry. And then you have the main body. So you decide how much you want to cover, but you're writing 800 to 1,000 words. So I feel, guys, I feel that the main body could have 3 main parts. So focus on 3 things. Because if you focus on too many things, then it's becoming very kind of little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere, right? So you want to keep it slightly focused. So maybe 3 things you can cover. And then it's awesome at the ending. And I will remind you later, but can you make sure the ending has a kicker? Meaning kicker is something you want the reader to remember after reading it. Like, wow, he was the best basketball player. Wow, I think I love avocados. I want to have an avocado milkshake or something like that. So what is your end message, right? Think of the kicker or the punch line, so to speak. We want that. So this is kind of the standard structure I'm looking for. And this comes down to the organization, right? And remember, I think I said in my email earlier, in your feature article, I would like you to try some figurative language. Try an allusion, try an alliteration, try a simile. It doesn't matter. Just try 1 or try 2, and I'm very happy. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm really happy if you just can try to include it a little bit in it. And I think that's all I need. So just try. All right, so let's think about title. Why is title so important? Well, title highlights the main idea. That's why it's a really good hook. So think a little bit about the title. How can it grab the reader's attention? And the title should persuade us to read your article. And that is really important. So think about that. When you think about the title, maybe allusion, maybe alliteration, maybe a rhetorical question, but it should grab our attention. And that's really, really important. So don't just, normally the title is the last thing. I know, but try to think a little bit about it. What can we do to make the title exciting? All right. So if you haven't the notes in front of you, I'm sending them you to now in the chat. And give me a second. There we go. So This is the title. We didn't do this one. Don't worry. It's nothing we have to read. I'm going to put you now in breakout groups. In the breakout groups, I want you to think about activity 2. And you have pictures, number 1, 2, and 3, and 4. In the breakout groups, think about a good title. So you have these 2 pictures here as part of your lead-in. And yes, picture can be lead-in. It doesn't have to be words. So in your breakout groups, quickly, or take your time, chat a little bit, and come up with 3 titles that you can use. Or a title for each one is actually fine. And then we come back and we just share our ideas, because I think it's a good way to do a little bit for you to talk to each other too. So try a little bit. In the breakout groups, go, one of you, open the screen, share, and together think of titles that can grab our attention. All right, so join the breakout groups.
喺個 chat 嗰度講咗。唔係啊，佢好似又擺咗喺嗰個 Outlook 度嘅，佢有 send 俾你。係啊，見到。係啊，你作一個 title 就得㗎，應該。 我諗咗第二個，但係我唔知啱唔啱咯。唔係應該講嗰啲 hard to place kids 係嗰啲無家可歸，即係孤兒，然之後佢哋可以有一個 new home 去嗰啲 adoptive families 咩？講佢可以好快可以 match 到嗰啲幫孤兒同嗰個 adopt 同個寄養個家庭好快 match 到嘛？係咪？應該。
All right, that was good. Excellent. And let me see. Give me a second. All right. So just like I gave you like 10 minutes to think about it quickly. I think that's all right. I just want to kind of share if we have any cool ideas, because I think it's difficult to think of titles, but it can be a good activity to think of something cool. So this is the first one, guys. Does anyone have anything really awesome about this one? What could be a good example? So we have rich versus poor, inequalities, right? What could be a title? The hook or attention. Any suggestions? Oh, Ethan has something. Rakshi too. All right. What is stopping? Yes, Rachel too. Very good. The elephant in the Asians' wealth distribution inequality. I think that's good. The elephant in the Asian room. That's quite good. Wealth distribution, growing problem for growing Asia. Good. Using growing. What is stopping undeveloped countries in Asia to catch up? Or what's stopping? Yeah, I think they're all really good. Very good ones, serious. My example is not so serious. I wrote, thank you for sharing. I thought this was kind of funny. funny in the way because we have the poor and the rich, and thank you for sharing. So being slightly ironic or slightly sarcastic with the topic. So I thought that will work too, right? So we don't have to have a serious topic, a serious title. We can have something fun like this one, ironic or sarcastic. So that's want to show you too, but very good stuff. Yeah, you guys are more serious than me. That's good. All right. And then you had this one, right? So this one is beginning in late 1980s, right? In China, a number of children were kidnapped, right? And then many victims are now seeking their parents or siblings, right? And trying to find their families. Did anyone try anything for this one? So this is kind of a tragic story in a way. Anything exciting for this one, guys? Anything you want to share? Oh yeah, the scars of child trafficking. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. Excellent. No child should be deprived of the wings of freedom. Yeah, that's good too. The wings of freedom, right? So very good, Cecily. That's a good one too. So two very good ones here. Good stuff. I put, again, mine is not so good as yours. Just the searchers. Not as good as you guys. I thought the searchers would work because searching for siblings and family, but like Rakshitjan and Cecily's one, no child should be deprived, and the scars of child trafficking is actually better than my example. So there you go. Good stuff. And then we had this one, right? So here, this is about kids that want to be placed in adoptive families. So adoptive families, or someone being adoptive, they live at foster parents' homes. And hard to place is kids that perhaps no foster parents would like to take on. So it's a very serious but important topic. So anything about this one? Any good ideas? Share a heart. Yes, that's excellent. I think that's very good. Share a heart is very good. Did anyone come up with something else? I think this one is a little bit tricky. Serious topic, but important. Let's see. I put, oh yes, more abandoned children will be reunited with new families. Yes, that's good, positive. I put extreme edition. The reason I put extreme edition is because hard to place kids. So again, good examples in the chat, guys. Better than mine. So we can use like different ways to write our lovely titles, just like here, right? Maybe that would help you too to make something more splashy, lead-in, and exciting. And then I do like this. Last one, this one is the most simple one. Profile of Google's co-founder, Larry Page. I can share mine first if you want. I said, meet the new boss. I really couldn't think of anything. Did anyone think of a good title for this one? Yeah, I think this one was difficult. So it could be like meet the new boss. The most important alphabet, yes, that could be it. We should have all have bought alphabet stocks years ago. Yes, that's a good one too. So have some fun with the title, guys. And the title can really be a good hook. So I just keep it simple, keep it easy. Don't worry. I consider the titles to be part of your introduction, you lead in. So it can be the title, and then you can have an image, and that's also part of your lead-in. So the 3-4 paragraphs doesn't have to be text. It can be pictures. All right, so wrong page there. How can you then continue? So now you have a really good title, but how can you then continue to build your article? You can have a very provoking introduction. You can have a very provoking statement, how bullying became the crisis of a generation. You could have a provoking statement, why women pay more. So you have your title as a lead-in. Then you can have part of it, provoking statement. And then you could have image. So that's how you can begin the future article. So title, boom. Then a provoking statement. What does this mean? Why does it say that? And then an image. So for example, what's happening here? Moving something on my screen, that's why. There. So here we have the picture, we are committing suicide, and he has a gun and the globe. So what do you think this picture means? And then, come on guys, what do you think this picture? Global warming, yes, that's a good one. So you could have a thought-provoking statement like this, or image. That's okay, that's part of your lead-in. So don't think you have to have text all the time. Pictures, guys. In many of my lessons this semester, I've used a lot of pictures. So pictures are important. This one here is also a picture. And it's, you don't know if you can see it that clearly. It's a man in Africa. There's nothing in the background, so we assume he's quite poor. He's holding up aftershave, perfume, cologne. It says the aftershave costs £35. But below, and I guess you can't see, it says the basic for a new house is only £650. So it's a thought-provoking image. So I put in aftershave. He said, we spend £35 on aftershave. But in Africa, if you are poor, they can get a house for £650. So it's controversial, it's thought-provoking. So why is this thought-provoking? Well, it's thought-provoking because instead of us spending $35 on cologne, we could instead help the poor people in Africa to have a house. So yes, Kitty, it shows the disparity a little bit between the rich and poor, and maybe that sometimes as we rich people are focusing on the wrong things when there are other people that's so poor in Africa or other places, even in very poor in Hong Kong, right? So you can have a title, and then if you can find an image that's thought-provoking about your topic, that can be part of your lead-in. So it's one way you could start your lovely feature article. You could also start by saying, making a controversial statement. That's okay too. So you could have title, and then you could have a controversial statement. And the statement then is to hook the reader. Jackie Chan, who most people perhaps don't love so much today, once said, I like to see some countries have a tsunami or earthquake. I mean, to be honest, that's crazy. That's crazy, crazy talk. But if you see that statement, you're wondering, why did he say that? What is the context? And then you pick it up and you read the article. So controversial statement can attract our attention. Another one, this is many years ago, a student, I think, wrote about pollution. And she started by claiming there's no smog in Beijing. Who said Beijing had no blue skies? Such blue skies, green fields. So a little bit playing on saying there is smog and there isn't smog and so forth. So again, it's taking a controversial statement. The most will think it's wrong, and having that will make us want to read it. So that's one way you can start it. Sometime you can think about something very crazy. This one, my 11 grape diet, a model confesses. If you saw this one, you probably want to read article like, why is she only eating 11 grapes? That's crazy. What's wrong with her? You can't do that. We'll be starving, right? So that's one way. Again, you can heighten the drama by having some shocking content to get us to read. So, but as you write it, think about the tone. What tone would you like the reader to feel? So tone here is the mood. Do you want the reader to be excited? Do you want the reader to feel sad? Do you want the reader to feel optimistic, positive? What do you want us to feel? So think about then the adjectives you're using. So if you're writing about a new diet, you might want to feel, we should be excited about this diet. We can all lose weight, blah, 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 right? Or is something current event that you're outraged over, you're feeling very sad or something, then that's the tone. So just think a little bit about the topic and what you want us to feel when we're reading it. What mood should we have? And I will come back to that a little bit when we do our tutorials, right? But I just want to open you thinking a little bit now, like, what should we want us to feel? And sometimes it can be neutral, right? It can be very neutral. It doesn't have to have a strong feeling. So how can you do the lead-in? You can tell a story. In a village far, far away, a tall man grew up to become a world-famous basketball player, for example. So the lead-in can be a story to attract the reader's attention. You can just use a surprising statistics if you want, a surprising trend if you want for the lead-in, and that maybe will hook our attention. You could have a new twist on a common expression or something like that. That's okay. Very much. I think Rachel said before, who was it? The elephant in the Asian's room or something. Just a common twist. Maybe you want to write something about political or topical culture to attract our attention. You can even make a very strong claim that most of us think is wrong. We should all have more tsunamis or something like that. That's okay. Or something that contradicts conventional things. So just think the lead-in, all I want you to do is attract our attention. And the lead-in can be 3 paragraphs. But you could use 1 sentence. You could use 1 image, for example. So don't think big, think small. It's okay. All right, so what's happened here? Oops. That wasn't good. Oh, it's okay. So let me share then this here. So yes, so this is what I just talked to you about. Here are the example I just told you a little bit about. In the unit, there are links you can click on if you want to know more and see example. But I think you don't really have to do that. All you have to do is write a draft, show me the draft, and I will tell you and help you to fix it. But there are some example in the unit. Now, what I want you to do, and this is this activity, guys. Here, these are two lead-ins. A little bit different, both two paragraphs. So I want you to read them and see which one do you think is better. I can just share my screen or you can look at your own. Just read them very quickly and tell me which one do you think it's more attractive, or if both are not attractive, that's okay. You can say, I hate them both. It's really, really okay. So just keep them on the screen, take a couple minutes, read, and let me know which one you think is better as a lead-in. what do we think? Which one do we think it's better as a lead-in? The searchers or the meet the new boss? Any suggestions? Actually, wrote. Oh yes, that's a good point. Yes, I think it's a good point. I think many times the reason I would say that, sorry, moving on my stupid screen, the reason why Article 2 is a little bit more attractive is basically because it's narrative. So there we go. So Article 2 gives details about a living environment of one of the kidnapped children. It's narrative. It's painting a story. So 2, I think it's kind of good because it's engaging by painting a story. Very descriptive, guys. Wash clothes together, sit and gossip, bit hazy, parents run a noodle stall, and so forth. So 2 feels more engaging because it's a narrative explaining a little bit what's happening. Article 4 isn't really very, how to say, engaging. Article 4 is what we call expository in nature. So that's why maybe for this one, it doesn't feel like it's that engaging. But it doesn't mean it's not successful. It's just that Article 4 just explains the different roles. So for Article 4, you really have to be interested in the topic to get into it. So different style. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but just keep in mind that this is why it's important we say what type of feature article you're doing. Human interest, how to, breaking news, and whatnot, because the lead can be different based on that. All right. So overall, this is good stuff, guys. Good. Let me see. Now, which one do I prefer? I think, to me, this one is better because it has more details. And I can kind of visualize a little bit of what's happening. So I feel like this one is slightly better. But again, no right, no wrong. So don't worry about it. Okay. Almost there for today. Couple things left. So don't worry. I'm running it through as according to option 2, beginning of the lesson. So how do we deal with it? Well, this is what I suggest, because I'm very much like, keep it easy, keep it simple, don't complicate it. So we will have a title, then you have a lead-in, and as we said, the lead-in, part of the lead-in could be an image, right? Part of the lead-in could be a statement if you want. Then part of the lead-in, if you want it, could be what we just read. I call it a story. It's painting the picture. Once you have done then comes a very important point. And this one you can't forget, because if you forget this one, it will impact your grade. You need the nut graph. The nut graph is usually in your 3rd or 4th paragraph. It is the summary. It says who, what, where, when, why, how. But depending on article, guys, you might not have all of them. you might only have some of them. So that's okay. Then after the nut graph, you might not be ready to go to the main body. You might, depending on your topic, you might have to give some background information so the reader knows a little bit more. But then again, this is optional depending on your topic. Then you have the body, and you are only writing 800 to 1,000 words. So the topic, the body, can't be too long. That's why 3 things is enough, okay? Don't worry too much. Then wrap it up. I will talk about the wrap out soon. Wrap up, just remind us about the nut graph. The wrap up, remind us. And the kicker, think about something you want us to remember. So this is just a very simple way of thinking about the organization. Always start with the lead-in, then the nut graph, and then just build upon it from there. And yeah, I say that many times tonight, but it's very simplistic. Do not take it too seriously. This is something that can be done fairly quickly. You can enjoy it. Write an article about fashion if you like. Write an article about tomato base for noodles if you want. Really, just build that like what I told you about today, and I promise you, your grade will be very good. So a couple more things to clarify then. So the lead-in we told you before. You remember, illustrate, show with a story, with pictures. Maybe make it a concrete, maybe make it a provocative statement or creative. So think about human interest, right? Think about the details we like. Then you need a nut graph. So this is who, what, where, when, how. Is basically, guys, the summary. And the one reason you might not get a high grade is if you have forgot the nut graph. I'm just being completely honest. Sometimes students forget this graph. We really need it. We really want it. That's why, please, guys, just include it. Don't forget it, please. So nut graph, who is story is about, what is happening, where does story take place, when did the story take place, why did the story take place, and how did it take place. So you have a topic, and when you have the topic, I always say, you have the topic, now, before you start writing, can you answer these questions about your topic? And you might not need all of them for your topic. You might only need some. But these are the nut graph, please. Okay. And then once you have done that, if you need a background section, and I'm just saying that sometimes we don't need it. Maybe you're writing something that we need to explain some terms. Or maybe we have to understand something about the history, the context, to understand the rest of the story. If so, put it here. But if it's a basic story, then sometimes, really, we don't need this section. But if you feel like we do, add it in. All right? That's it. And then the body. Think about how do you organize the body. And that's why for the body, in the samples I showed you, they all had sections. And the sections were divided into subheadings. And that's really important. And the subheadings are equally important as the headings. Subheadings also serve to attract our attention. Okay, so maybe you subheadings, maybe this subheadings can be an rhetorical question. Maybe it could be hyperbole. Maybe the subheadings could be allusion, or maybe alliteration, right? So you need some subheadings, and they can serve as a hook too. And wrap up in the conclusion, I always say, you have told me a beautiful story. Now, in the wrap up, just restate the story using different words. Remind us about what we have read. Then go back to the nut graph, and then you can remind us what we have read. So that's the wrap up. Just in conclusion, remind us. And then after that, guys, what do you want us to remember from reading this? That is really good. What's a kicker? So I give extra points. So we have title, introduction. Sorry. Then you have body and conclusion. In the kicker, if you're able to link this back here, I will give you extra points. I think that's very difficult to do sometimes, but if you can connect the title, introduction, with the conclusion, the kicker, I think that's a beautiful thing. So for example, tell us if we're going to travel to Spain. In the introduction, you say we should all travel to Spain. Then in the kicker, you circle back saying how we can do it, for example, reinforce why we can do it and so forth. Going to say we can live longer and things like that. So try to circle it back a little bit. And then end it with the kicker. Maybe, again, the kicker, if you have it, it can be difficult, but maybe in the introduction, maybe you have some facts, or you can refer back to lead sentence. Or you read the honor bound the story last week at home. That's ended with kind of a inspiration. Maybe you want to offer an advice. Don't eat avocado. You're going to have an upset stomach or something like that. Or you want to give a warning. Do not travel to Spain or something. So the ending can be any of that. Just you decide, but the kicker, you don't forget, because basically when I read it, I sit and I tick the box that you have done everything, and that's it. And I'm very, very happy. Should we do anything else? There's one more thing. You could write a narrative of something. Basically, you're just describing it from your first person, what happened. You could try to describe a little bit. If you're using lots of images in your story, then remember to describe what's being seen in the pictures. You can have different views or ideas, or basically you can argue something in your story. So different ways to organize your text. There's not right or wrong. You pick one. Like last semester, you had to write for and against. Here, you're completely free. Yes, you decide what you think is the best way to organize it. You can have facts if you like. You can have statistics if you like. You can refer to sources. but normally we don't refer to sources. There's no need for academic sources. If you need a definition of something, you're writing something scientific, you can include it, but you don't have to refer to a source. So you're very much free to do what you like. But what I do like is examples. I like examples. I like pictures. Keep it simple. That's what I like. So we don't have to do this one. Don't worry about this one. So let me share. Give me a second. What's happening on my thingy? Give me a second. There we go. So what I basically summarized it today. So I always say, just send me a draft, anything you have, and I can help you with it. So there's no standard structure per se, narrative, argumentative, you decide. But what I want, what I like, is a good title, thought-provoking title, lead in, attract our attention, pictures, provoking statements, or facts, you decide. Nut graph, the summary, who, what, where, when, how. Body, 3 points. Wrap up, summarize, rephrase. Nut graph, kicker, remind us what you have talked about, what should we do, what you want us to do. That's it. And on Blackboard, I have put your lovely examples. I would say, look at those examples. Don't worry about making the examples or making your featured article super design. I know it's difficult. Just try, guys. Just try a little bit to make it look like a feature article. Normally, it can be okay if you just have 2 columns, some pictures and captions. That's really, really it. Otherwise, it's fine too. I mean, certainly, as long as you try, I'm very, very happy. And as I said, I'm not a very difficult grader, so I wouldn't worry about it. Do you guys have any questions? I went fairly quickly because we said option 2 at the beginning, and I finished almost 8. Any questions, guys? Yes. So Ethan, yes. So you can send me PDF as drafts. That's not a problem. But I think if you send me a Word file or something like Word, then I can make comments in the margin. And sometimes that's easier for me to help you fix your language if I can comment in the margin. Does that make sense? So for this one, when you submit your final version, then you can submit PDF because you have styled it. That's okay. But as you submit a draft, it is easier for me to comment on language using Word. But if you don't have Word and you want to use PDF for draft 2, that's really okay. I will try my best. Okay. So easy going here. It's just easier for me to comment, but if not, PDF is fine. Okay? Is that okay, Ethan? So when you submit your final version on Turnitin and you email it to me, you can submit PDF because you will have magazine style. However, if you submit a draft, I prefer a Word file because I can make comments in the Word file in the margin. It's a lot easier for me than on a PDF. Oh, submit Word, yes. So draft, so, okay, so some teachers will, for other ELC2011, say you can only submit perhaps 400 words. I don't really care. You can, for draft, how many words you submit to me, it's up to you. You can submit a paragraph, you can submit half a feature article, you can submit your whole feature article for me to look at. Thanks, Bono. So don't worry about the length of the draft you submit to me. I let you decide. Whatever you want my help with, I will help you with. And then let me share. I have here, next week is Easter. So here are, if you want to see me on Monday, you can sign up. If you want to see me on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, send me an email and we can make an appointment. So it's best if we can all do it week 12, because then you have one more week if you need to change something based on my feedback. No, it's okay, Ethan. It's just that if it's a PDF, I can't make specific comments on the text in the text. That's the problem. That's why I said a Word. So that don't worry about it. Any other questions? So take your time, think about a good topic. You still have 2 weeks, right, to finish the article. And let me know if you need my help. Look at the samples I have put on Blackboard. Also, think about what I have talked about, that I like a very clear title, a lead-in, picture, something to attract the attention. And then at the end of the article, like I told you today, I really like a wrap-up and I really like a kicker. And I gave you some examples how to use wrap-up and kicker today. So think about those things also. And I think that's really what you have to do. And I wouldn't worry so much because normally everyone does really well on the feature article. So I feel confident that you guys will do really well also. And I know many of you might not have a topic yet. That's all right too. Don't worry about it. Write about Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny is a good topic. All right. So let me see, where is it? All right. So we decided on option 1 earlier, right? Or option 2. So we went pretty quickly. We're done for 1.5 hours. So I will stay online if you have questions. The rest of the evening, you go, have dinner, watch TV, relax, email me if you need help. And if I don't hear anything, I assume you're doing okay. Don't worry, guys. Life's going to be good. You did really well on the reflection, so you do really well on this assessment. Really, don't stress over it. I'm confident you do super well. Okay? If you need my help, let me know. Just stay positive. The beaches, the pools will open, so be positive. Can all go swimming. All right, guys, so have a good evening. I stay if you have questions. If not, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the tutorial. Have a wonderful night. I'll see, Ethan, if I can do it. No worries, Ethan. I will try my best, okay? Yeah, I understand. Don't worry about it. I will try to figure it out. Ronald, oh, it's okay, Ethan. I mean, I will try tomorrow, okay? I'll try tomorrow when I'm at work to do it. It should be all right. And I will let you know. If you haven't heard from me by tomorrow afternoon, just send me an email, okay? Thanks.